I also want to talk to you guys about closing. I'm focusing this week on the big things I'm hearing in sales. Objection handling. Everyone sees objections as things they need to handle. What we really need to do is understand the objection and actually push back with curiosity. Okay. It's not they've hit us with an objection. Let me see if I can score a 10 out of 10 on this response. Hit it out of the park. What else you got kind of attitude. That's not going to get us anywhere. It shouldn't be a combative nature. It should be, they're saying this for a reason. I need to understand why. Let me get curious. And if you can follow up with a question, that's really the way you actually progress that objection into, or develop that objection into a conversation, which is the whole point. And the second thing I want to focus on, and on what I've been hearing about, is closing, right? We're in a very complex market, tough times, tough environments. Closing was a real problem in 2025. Less than 50% of reps hit target. Some reps in some industries and some verticals were down at 20%, 1 in 5. Now, not only does that mean sales cycles are slowing down and stalling, it also means we're struggling when we get to the finish line to close. But it's not just the finish line. So let me walk you through some different types of closing problems we're getting. We could be talking just simply about closing the next meeting. Hey, Mr. Prospect, this sounds good. I've got a business case I want to run through with you. We should definitely do that before you speak to your champion and say, are you around next Tuesday? Actually, Tuesday doesn't work well for me. Okay. What about Wednesday? Wednesday's tough too. It's Thursday today, right? Why are we pushing for next week? And then if they can't do it, we're pushing further out. By the time we book it in, a whole week has gone by, right? Ask for the time later this afternoon. Look, John, I know it's super important when you're ever presenting something internally to have a business case ready. I've already started building one out for you. And I just want to go through that with you so you're completely armed when you present this internally. You free this afternoon? Or this afternoon's a bit tricky, a couple of meetings, but maybe tomorrow morning? We'll need about half an hour. Is it doable at any point tomorrow for you? Yeah, I can do it at 10:30. Sweet. Let me get that booked in. Closing the next meeting, if you give them a time and they can't do that, see if you can fit it in before rather than after the time you've given. Timelines. Now, I've written some stuff down here, right? Because we came across this situation quite recently. Legal was a 24 to 48 hour turnaround. However, InfoSec, the IT security piece, was a couple of weeks time frame. That was the time frame that was given. Now, we're in a position where we can run legal, we can run procurement, and we can get that turned around within a 2 to 3 day period at most. But then we're having to run through 2 weeks of InfoSec, or waiting on them to go through the security. How can we speed it up and try and align everything to a tighter timeline? Well, one thing we can do is, rather than just leave it to InfoSec to see, what the issues are and they can get on with it over the next couple of weeks, ask for the meeting with InfoSec. Look, we've got legal and procurement running. That's going to be done in the next 3 days. Right? Time kills deals. And I know you want this on board. My suggestion would be, why don't we loop in info security? Why don't we loop in IT? And we can run a quick meeting either this afternoon or tomorrow. I can provide them all the details that they need to help speed up the process for them, because they're going to need all the securities, all the ISOs, etc. I've got that information, and it'll be super useful on a call for me to walk through them. Does that sound doable for you? Ask for the time rather than just pushing it out to InfoSec, because that's not really going to get us anywhere. We're going to now wait for 2 weeks. We're going to kill the deal. This is the problem we had last year, right? Deals were stalling, especially in the enterprise space, where you have legal, where you have procurement, where you have InfoSec, where you have more red tape, integrations, etc. A lot of enterprise and even at the higher end of mid-market is about kind of just project managing. This is going to take this long, but this is going to take that long. So let's start running this first, and then we can align it when this finishes. A lot of that is project management. It's juggling. Okay. And that is what I noticed killed a lot of deals in 2025. We didn't even get to closing because those deals stalled and a lot of sellers weren't even hearing back from their teams and their deals, right? Their prospects, their champions. So timelines must be tight. We can't have something that's running 3 weeks and something that's only going to run a day. We need to be ahead of that. And we need to find a way to shorten up those 3 weeks. All right. Constant feature questions. This is another thing that kills deals. Now, what do I mean by that? Can it do this? Can it do that? Right? You showed me this. Listen, John, features are great. And when we're going through setup, I'm sure there'll be extra features that you and I haven't gone through today that will be super useful for you. But you told me at the start of this call, your targets are being increased by 20% next year. All right. Or this year. Based on what I've already shown you, we know that even being conservative, we've got 25% in the bank sitting right there that you're leaving on the table that our product will automatically pick up for you. We're leaving 25% on the table. We've already identified that. Okay. Refocus them. That was your priority at the start of this call. Can you hit target next year? We've shown you how you can actually exceed target by next year. Let's get you through. And then at setup, we can talk about potential added features that gets you from that 25% to 30%. Does that sound like a plan? Yes, no, it does. Does it make sense? Yes, it does. Great. Now, sign off. Do you remember the talk tracks we've been through, right? Look, for full transparency, there's 3 levers you can pull. Outside of that, my senior leadership team will say no, the price will remain firm. But here's the levers you can pull: contract length, payment terms, speed to signature. If you can do this, we can do that. Great. That sounds really, really good, Neil. Can you run it up the chain? We still want that discount, but we can't sign off end of Jan. The earliest we'll be able to sign off is mid-Feb. Remember what you told them at the start. There's 3 levers that you can pull, speed to signature being one of them. If that speed to signature is not there, the discount isn't there. Don't go away and say, okay, yeah, we'll work to that timeline. What you can say is, well, we can work to a middle of Feb timeline, but as I told you, speed to sign off is the reason why you'd be getting a discount. So you're not going to get the discount that you want if you're signing off middle of Feb. If I'm going to go and run this up the chain, I'm going to have to get an agreement from your side that you're able to sign off by end of Jan. Otherwise, there's nothing I can do here. Put the pressure back on them rather than jumping to their demands and questions. Now, that was super quick, I know, but this is something that I've put together because it's something that I've been hearing on sales floors over the last couple of weeks. I hope you found it useful. Next week, we will dig down into those objections. We'll take some certain objections. Let me know in the comments which objections you'd like me to discuss next week. I will reply to each and every single one. But if you let me know, out of the 20 we've gone through today, I will focus on them and we will get more granular in detail behind what those objections mean, the psychology of it all, and why your response is what it's going to be and how that helps develop the conversation. Guys, if you enjoyed it, like and subscribe. We've got some big things coming in the pipeline, things that you will not want to miss, things that will disrupt and change the landscape. This Sell the Future podcast is only going from strength to strength. I hope you all enjoyed that. If you haven't had enough of me, you can click on this video right here and I will see you guys in there. All the best.